Hi, I'm Dennis Buttimer. Welcome back to Tools and Tactics to Tame Your ADHD Brain. Stop doing New Year's resolutions because they don't work. They are a terrible setup for failure for ADHD brains. In fact, it's the fastest way to go from hope in January to shame in February, if you even make it that long. Here's why they don't work. Number one, it depends on long-term consistency. So instead of, getting some rewards very quickly, you're going to have to do a bunch of repetitive tasks over and over again before you even get any payoffs. It doesn't work that way. Two, it depends on motivation, not structure. ADHD brains they're just based on interest. If you're interested in something, fine. But as soon as the novelty of it wears off, the first week at the gym or whatever, then when that novelty ends, the habit drops right away with it. The other thing, the big reason that I think it doesn't work is because it's often identity based. It's something like, this year I'm gonna be the kind of person who works out all the time and blah blah blah. Like it's just around identity. So as soon as it fails in some way, then the identity drops with it, meaning that you don't just feel like, hey, I broke a habit, but I broke myself. Let's instead set you up for success instead of failure. You're gonna love these tips, trust me. Number one, throw the word resolution out of your vocabulary. Yeah, when everyone else is talking about this time of year, just throw it on out, okay? Instead, I want you to start thinking a little bit more of 7-day plans, okay? And even the language is important. So here's how you're gonna state it to yourself. For the next 7 days, I'm testing. For the next 7 days, I'm testing a 10-minute walk after lunch. For the next 7 days, I'm testing having my medications next to my toothbrush. For the next 7 days, I'm testing the idea of a 2-minute structured shutdown before bed, right? All right, number two, all right, here's where it gets yummy, all right? So one of the reasons that resolutions fail is because they're too big and they're unrealistic. So you're gonna make them into bite-sized chunks. Let's call this minimum viable habits. Minimal viable habits, you call it MVH if you like. Okay. Instead of those big ideas, you're just going to go to, tiny, consistent wins that scale naturally. So, consistency is key, and it doesn't have to be a lot of big things, but it does have to be consistent. You just have to know that, right? So, rather than instead of saying things like, I'm going to be in the gym 5 days a week working out, just, knock it down to simple, ridiculously simple elements. Always say that, I'm gonna put on my workout shoes. I'm gonna do 5 squats. I'm gonna go outside for 2 minutes and walk. You're gonna do things like that. All right, and then third, you're going to give yourself a dopamine menu. You know you're going to love that, right? So instead of willpower and I got to muscle through this and I'm going to make stuff happen and all of that, which does not work very long, trust me, you're going to give yourself a dopamine menu. So it can be things like, a crunchy snack. Nothing wrong with that. Iced water. It could be something like, what do I have? Some thoughts here. 2 songs in a dance break. Clean for 3 minutes. Don't clean your whole office, clean your whole house. Don't do all that. You may get some rewards, but you're going to pay for it another way. Just clean for 3 minutes, and it gives you a feeling of satisfaction. I bet you can think of other things. I mean, you can text someone, reach out to someone, do a quick text, and maybe you go back and forth with them for a minute. Or what's something else you could do? You could do some sort of thing with a hobby. If you play an instrument, play a couple songs. Take that opportunity. Oh, if you're practicing a new language, go ahead and give yourself 5 minutes of practice. That could be sort of a yummy, delicious little treat that you give yourself. So basically, you're building in a system, an idea for yourself that will work, excuse me, instead of this idea that I've got to do all of this stuff and put myself out there. And because listen, it's okay. It's not because you're lazy as a person or that your brain is broken. It's because of your wiring. It's just the way that you're made. So you want to be able to pull up dopamine and norepinephrine in your brain that will carry you through. It'll give you that novelty and that sense of reward and purpose and drive. And then you're looking at what you've done. You're like, gosh, this really isn't bad. Like the last 7 days, I did this and I did some of those little habits, and I was consistent, and I, just the way that you're approaching it makes all the difference. So I want to give you a lot of encouragement in this new year. Excuse me, I want to give you a lot of encouragement anyway as you're moving forward with yourself. So much of this is a mindset and how you treat yourself. So wishing you all the best. If you want a free consultation, 15-minute consultation, reach out to me, Dennis@ButtermerConsulting.com. Go ahead and hit like, subscribe if you wish, that'd be super. Write some thoughts or questions in the comments. Ooh. And as always, I'll look forward to seeing you next time. And as always, I'm betting on you. Have a great day. Cheers.